welcome you to the Microsoft Surface Hub. I want to walk you through our meeting experience. So oftentimes what we hear about meetings is that they're not as productive as they could be, they're not as engaging as they could be. End users have frustrations trying to connect to technology. Oftentimes it takes too long to get started. Remote users complain that they don't feel as engaged, they can't interact with content. And ultimately when you're having a conversation that you really want to flow, where people are gelling, ideas are flowing, really things are happening, if you want to bring content into that discussion, it can disrupt the flow of a conversation. So we want to create technology that ultimately enables groups to be as productive as possible together. And so we've got a couple of different experiences. I'd like to walk you through our meeting experience. And so if you take a look at our device here, this is a Windows 10 experience that no one has ever seen before. So ultimately, this is our welcome screen. Usually when you look at a PC, you have a lock screen. It's going to ask you for your password. It's going to ask you to log in. If you walk into a room that has a PC in it, you may not be able to interact with it. But this is a welcome screen. It's meant for anyone to be able to walk up and use. In fact, if you walk close to it, it has ambient sensors that will actually light up a bit as you get closer so that it's inviting. So that if you don't even know what it is, you can walk up and start using it. We've got 3 key experiences built into the welcome screen. These are things that groups do most often together. The first one is calls. It's powered by Skype for Business, and it enables you to start an ad hoc conversation. The second one is our whiteboard. Our whiteboard is powered by OneNote, and it's got a great pen experience. It enables you to just pick up a pen, start writing, start sharing ideas, ideate as simply as you would by walking up to a standard whiteboard. Our third is our Connect experience, which enables you to take external devices and bring that content up to the Surface Hub. So what I'd like to show you right now is a scheduled meeting experience. If you look at the screen, you see several meetings on the device. These are meetings that someone scheduled and out. And reserving a Surface Hub is as simple as reserving a conference room. If you reserve a conference room, then it automatically reserves the Surface Hub. So what I'm going to do is with a single tap, I'm going to join our meeting. And so rather than connecting to a lot of different pieces of technology, it brings everything we want up to the screen. So you see on the left-hand side, we have Skype for Business built into the device. Rather than having to open a separate application, you have Skype for Business, and you have our whiteboard content and any third-party content built straight in. Skype can go on either side, so depending on where we are on the screen, we can still interact. These cameras have a very wide field of vision. So that means even if I'm up at the board, if I'm writing, the person on the other end can still see me. They can still see me interacting. They're a part of the conversation. Ultimately, we often bring content into meetings. And what we do today is generally we use a projector. One person owns that. They plug in first, and that means that somebody else wants to share ideas. It becomes a complicated process. So we're really trying to simplify that as much as possible with our Connect experience. So from this surface right here, with just a couple of taps, I can bring content onto the screen. This one here is connected wired. You can also do it wirelessly using Miracast technology, which means you don't have to fumble with plugs or with dongles. You can just get your content up onto the screen. This is different than a typical projector in a few ways. The first of which is that the remote user is completely engaged. They can see our content just as they were able to see our whiteboard. We're not blocking them either. Rather than taking over the entire screen, it's integrated inside the environment. We can also go split screen. So if 2 different people have content that they want to share in the meeting, we can have both side by side. So you can take ideas from one, annotate them into another. It's a very integrated experience, and it makes your meetings as engaging as possible. Another key component here is that I can drive the meeting from the front of the room. So even though my PowerPoint deck is sitting over here on a surface, I can walk up and move from slide to slide. I can also pinch and choose the slide that I find most relevant. And I can pick up a pen and annotate straight on the device. And as you'll see, it shows here on the surface as well. We call that touchback and inkback. Touchback means that even though the PowerPoint is living on the surface, I can move from slide to slide on the Surface Hub. And inkback is the capability to write directly on the content and have it live on the surface. So that means that if you came into a meeting, you had your PowerPoint deck, you could take notes on the screen. People share their ideas, people share their thoughts, and then when you leave the meeting, all of those ideas you can take with you. They live there on the file as it began. One other thing I'd like to highlight in our meeting experience is how to end it. Oftentimes in a meeting, there will be action items, there will be ideas, there will be whiteboard content that doesn't really make it after the meeting ends. People come to a great conclusion, but unless someone took a photo of the whiteboard with their camera, the ideas often don't leave the room. So we've built a way to walk away with confidence. With a single tap, you can end a meeting and send that content to everyone who's in the meeting. So the whiteboard content, any other notes, anything you were sharing, automatically sent to all the attendees. And as we do that, it wipes the device. So it takes any content that was on it and removes it. That means that you don't have to be concerned that your sensitive content will be there for anyone else to see. That also means that the next user can walk into the room and find the device in a clean, pure experience, just as you found it when you walked into the room. So that's our productive and engaging meeting experience, and some of the ways that we feel like the Surface Hub is really going to help groups in the enterprise be as productive and collaborative in meetings together. So thank you for that. We also have another room next